Hola y bienvenidos a todos, esto es Señores Mayores Frikis. Hoy vamos a jugar la cuarta partida de Not for Broadcast. La última partida fue muy loca, la verdad es que estoy deseando saber qué pasa porque me quedé súper intrigado con el final. Si queréis ya sabéis, podéis verla desde nuestra lista de reproducción donde tenéis los enlaces debajo del vídeo. Y si os gusta nuestro contenido, pues lo que os decimos siempre, podéis suscribiros, darle like o dejarnos un comentario, y también podéis invitarnos a un café desde el enlace que también está en la descripción a Coffee. Sin mucho más que decir, empezamos la partida y a ver qué nos encontramos esta vez. Día 297. Una cinta que recordar. Desde luego es para recordar. Te despiertas pero sigues en estado de shock por lo que viste en las noticias anoche, lo que tuviste que editar en las noticias anoche. Cuando vas al piso de abajo, tu familia está sentada en el salón esperándote. Te sientas en el sofá junto a Sam. Sam traga saliva y duda antes de empezar a hablar. Estábamos tan preocupados por ti anoche, por lo de Jeremy y la pistola. Sam intenta no soltar un sollozo. Fue horrible y encima en la televisión nacional. ¿Cómo ha podido hacer eso? ¿Y ahora? Tras una pausa agónica, Sam pregunta: ¿estás bien, cielo? No me puedo creer que ya no esté. O sí estaré bien. No me puedo creer que ya no esté. Yo quiero que siga, me caía muy bien. Sam mira a Charlie y luego vuelve a mirarte. Vimos que tomaste la decisión de poner la cinta. Pausa antes de continuar. Yo no podía dejar de preguntarme el motivo. Creo que era lo correcto o creo que no tenía otra opción. Pues a ver, no tenía otra opción y también creo que era lo correcto, pero... Venga, vamos a intentar quedar un poco bien y vamos a decir que no teníamos otra opción. ¿Qué? A mí eso no me vale. Los de Rusia son los malos. No me puedo creer que hayas hecho eso. El arrebato de Charlie viene de la nada y nadie parece estar preparado para afrontarlo. ¿Acaso piensas en cómo afectan estas cosas a la gente? No se puede ser más puto gilipollas. ¿Me ha insultado el niño? Para matarlo. Sam intenta intervenir, pero Charlie ya se ha ido cerrando de un portazo. Para Charlie nunca ha habido grises en este tipo de temas. Está fanatizadísimo el niño. Si te sirve de algo, Alex, creo que era una situación insoportable y que fuera como fuere, conseguiste tomar la decisión correcta. Sam te abraza. Solo que tuviste que tomarla estando en el estudio sin poder salir. Nadie puede criticar lo que hiciste. A mí me llena de orgullo. Nunca había sentido tanto alivio de contar con el apoyo de Sam. Respiras hondo e intentas poner en orden tus ideas. Tienes demasiadas cosas que asimilar. Aún no has procesado del todo lo que ocurrió anoche, y menos aún lo que opina Charlie y Sam del tema. Suspiras y enciendes la tele sin darle más vueltas al asunto. Menos mal que al menos tienes compañía. En la tele dan una peli de vaqueros, pero no consigues distraerte tanto como te gustaría. Era imposible complacer a todo el mundo. Es cierto, a alguien le iba a parecer mal lo que hiciera. Vale, día 365. Actualización vacacional. Sam llega con el correo justo cuando te estás acabando el desayuno. Anda, tenemos una postal de sushi. Espero que se lo esté pasando bien. Sam la lee en alto mientras te terminas de preparar para ir al trabajo. Creo que ya se ha visto casi todo en Kurdistán. Mola bastante, pero hace un frío tremendo. Espero que le haya gustado el regalo a Carlitos. Y antes de que digas nada, menos mal que hiciste llevarme otro par de calcetines. Sam te da una patada por debajo de la mesa. Luego cogimos el tren a Conislava. Hace mucho más calor y hay un montón de playas. Me habría quedado ahí para siempre si pudiera. Pero tenía que ir a San Palmarino antes de que empezara a hacer todavía más frío. Y menos mal que lo hicimos, ¿eh? Todavía nos quedan una o dos paradas antes de volver a casa. Pero os prometo que llegaré a tiempo para Navidad. Espero que os vaya todo bien. Besitos, Susi. Parece estar pasándolo de cine. Ha merecido la pena el gasto. Día 371. La guerra a las 20. Supongo que será a las 8. Vale, mi jefe. Quieren hackear la señal. O dejar tu creencia de lado, intentar que no arruinen la emisión. Aunque no te guste el gobierno. Que no pueden quitar el programa. Sí, la verdad es que no me gustaría. Mantente fuera de lo naranja. Vale. Anuncios que luego se me van. Name el pirado, siempre. Esa emisión de guerra. Un crucero. Francia. Kit de supervivencia antiasedios. Vamos a poner el de Advance. Vamos a poner el de Advance, que tenemos que llevarnos un poquito bien con ellos. Y venga, el del crucero. Vamos aquí. ¿De qué están hablando? Va como del luto. No va a aparecer. De verdad se mató Jeremy. Uf.
And tonight, Dr. Adrian Atkinson Blimey will be getting his teeth into Fiona from Hamble Bambleby, who's invented
10 seconds, everybody.
twist on the humble biscuit. And that takes us, after the weather and public information,
Going in 5,
to our close down.
4.
Vamos en 5, 4, 3.
Join Megan and the team for the National Night.
Good evening. This is the National Nightly News.
Uy, me han cambiado la
I'm Megan
mesita.
Wolf.
Estos
It's the
botones nuevos.
140th day of war. Our main headlines tonight. Company of
Donde
Heroes.
censura.
Skirmishes on land and sea again today
Vale.
as our armed forces tested the mettle of the World Council's illegal blockade. Advance's strategy of multiple small-scale incursions into the disputed zone is
Estamos
certainly
en
keeping
guerra.
the enemy on high alert, unable to work out where or when the next strike
El
will
herido.
come.
Venga.
Sadly,
No,
however,
me
more
gusta
casualties
romantizar
were
la guerra,
reported today,
así
and as
que
the weeks and months of this war make ever more demands on our armed services, those numbers will tragically only continue to rise. Don't starve. Advance's food
Arriba de
program
llenas.
moved
Programa de
from strength to
alimentación
strength
de
today
Advance.
as rationing depots were opened in the
Aquí
last
también
remaining
tenemos
unfed
racionamiento.
areas of the
Bueno,
territory.
bueno.
The
¿Cómo está
rationing
la cosa?
depots have been constructed in record time, and the government's agricultural coordination strategy
A ver,
has
¿qué
seen
elegimos?
shelves restocked with increasing
Vamos a elegir la
regularity.
buena, que hay que subir un
And
poquito la
judging by the
moral.
looks on this happy family's faces, it
Ya
can't
que la
come a
liamos
moment too
tantísimo en la
soon.
última, vamos a
They'll be
intentar
getting
por
a
lo
good meal
menos
tonight on the government,
pasar un
just
poquito
like
más
the rest of us.
desapercibidos.
7 days to die. The recent decision
días
to
para
allow
morir.
those with long-term health conditions to access transition centres has today been declared an overwhelming success. Previously available only to those in their final years,
Antes solo estaban para
the
los
expansion of the
ancianos.
service has been met with relief by the many organisations calling for it to be opened up to the wider community.
La mala, la mala.
With dwindling medical supplies leaving many of
O sea,
our
que ahora
most
están-
vulnerable facing
ahora
chronic
están
pain,
matando a la gente
it
en
can
7
come as no
días.
surprise that the transition centres have found themselves
Centro de
stretched to
transición, si es que eso
capacity.
sonaba mal desde el principio.
Populous. More than 11% of the
11% de la
population have thus
población
far
no se ha
failed to
registrado.
register for a team membership card. A worrying statistic given that the
Esta es la
cards
mala,
are a
estoy
legal
contrísima de
requirement from
registrarme en
midnight
eso.
tonight. While applications are still open for those who like to run fashionably late, they can expect a few tricky questions from Advance.
O sea, que ahora es
Starting now.
obligatorio.
Disrupt spokesman Alan James held an impromptu rally today in the northern
Bien.
city of Mankipool. Large crowds gathered to hear the band speaker prove Disrupt are still able to capture the public's
Me da menos tiempo para
imagination.
elegir, no me
A
da...
representative from the
Venga, la
Mankipool
buena.
community
He elegido la
team
buena.
described the event as
Aunque es un
mostly
loco.
peaceful. But it looks like Disrupt aren't going quietly.
Madre mía, es que
into
está
the
muy
night.
loco. Es que
And
ni una
finally-
cosa ni la otra.
Absent friends.
Oh, va a hablar de
Sad
Jeremy.
news today as the grave of former National Nightly News host Jeremy Donaldson is vandalised by radical Disrupt activists. The
La
much-loved
tumba.
broadcaster suffered a very tragic public breakdown 10 weeks ago.
¿El logo de
Incident
Advance
which
o el de los
ultimately
otros? Pues el de
cost
los
him his
otros,
life.
porque es lo
Disrupt
que
spokesman Alan
él
James,
acabó
whose
defendiendo en el
organisation
último
last week
momento.
named Mr. Donaldson as the cause's first martyr, described the
Primer
graffiti
mártir.
as a fitting tribute to a hero of the resistance.
Bueno,
But first this evening, with the war about to enter its 21st
se supone que estamos en el año
counting week
85.
and people hurting
Por lo
up
que
and
pone
down
en la
the
tumba,
country,
vamos.
I'll be grilling
Cámara.
unpredictable Prime Minister Peter Clement
Son
in an
7,
exclusive
6,
interview from his
5,
home in
4,
Lancashire. That's coming up on tonight's National Nightly News.
me he pasado de pronto. Vale, las onditas. Con lo mal que me llevo yo con esto. Venga, venga, venga. Más rápido. Si va más rápido que me estoy apañando yo peor. A ver, 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 a ver. A ver, cámara, cámara.
In part 2, I'm a little overexcited to announce I'll be interviewing the one and only Lil C. And later we've got a new feature that's sure to
Vale.
keep you coming back for more. But first tonight, let's check in with Prime Minister Peter Clement, who's speaking to us from his home in Lanfordshire. Good evening, Prime Minister. Have we caught you exercising?
Me cambia muy pronto.
Yes, that's right, Miss.
Venga,
Wolf.
necesitamos
Just a few
audiencia.
minor adjustments. I mean, nothing drastic. I haven't joined the gym or anything. As my old man used to say, Just
Estos
because you won't take it
botoncitos.
up the shit, it doesn't mean you shouldn't try for a quick fiddle up the car park.
Language, Prime Minister.
What?
Ya estamos con este que no para de...
What's wrong? Oh, shitter. It's shitter, isn't it? Yep, that's the one.
And can you tell us
pasa?
what brought about this new year? Tell us what brought
Well,
about
you know,
this.
Mrs. C and I were watching, you know, the night the
Ah,
blockade
Uy,
began.
cámara.
When Jeremy Donaldson. Well, you know.
Ah, esas son las ondas que
I'm
decían
sure
de...
you all remember. And I
quiero
was a bit
probarla.
wheezy from all the
Vale,
cigars and all that. And Mrs. C turns to me after the signal dropped away, and she was in
Whoops.
floods of tears. And she says, "Please,
A ver.
I couldn't go on without you." She's dead. So I made a decision. And since that day, I have stopped smoking cigars. Except for Christmas. My birthday.
A ver, que se me va.
State dinners.
¿Por qué cambió la cámara?
This useless running backwards doesn't go anywhere.
A ver.
And apparently I'm going on a walking holiday this Christmas, and that should finish me off for bloody good.
Did you make the decision to holiday within the country this winter
Ya.
because of the blockade, Prime Minister?
Well, Mrs. C has never
A ver,
liked traveling
van a estar
at
quietas
the
ya.
best of times. These are certainly not the best of times, on that we can all agree. There's a lot of red tape involved in leaving the territory at the moment, as I'm sure you're all aware. Some of those forms are bastard long.
All in it together.
What? All in it together. Oh, yeah. Also,
Por fin, madre mía.
it doesn't seem very advanced to be going abroad when the rest of the country is grounded.
And yet, Julia Salisbury announced today that she will
Vale.
be visiting Svenland during this year's winter break. Is that really an example of team spirit?
What?
Esto se va de vacaciones.
Did you
¿Qué pasa?
know about this, Gail? About this, Gail?
10 weeks ago, Jeremy Donaldson took control of the national nightly newsroom. He tried to warn us all about the now abandoned top-secret military lab.
Well, I have a frigid morning routine.
En las otras está el otro hablando.
Oh, yeah. A rigid
Vale.
and demanding plan that my doctor and personal trainer...
Who's your personal trainer?
some prick called Clark. Is that on your card?
I thought you might wonder. Prime Minister, speaking of planning, with the blockade in its 20th
Madre
week,
mía,
and people of this
cámaras,
country really at
ondas,
peak
todo
effect,
a la
what
vez.
plans do you have to get us out of this mess?
Well, that's a very blunt
Vale.
question, Miss
Surely
Bush.
one for which you, the democratically elected Prime Minister, must have an answer.
Don't you get smart with me, Pat. I was a fucking national treasure before you were a twinkle in the milkman's scrotum. You want to talk about plans?
suenan las dos
Let me
ondas y
tell
eso
you
me
about
mosquea un
plans.
montón.
That's all we do. Fucking plans and revised plans and then meetings to discuss
Okay.
the implementation of plans and
Understood,
plans and
Prime
yet more
Minister.
planning for fucking plans and yet more fucking plans.
Well, that's good. That's good to know, Prime
Do you
Minister.
know,
Oh,
I used to really like you, Pat.
oh.
The fresh air. But I've been watching you, and you know what? You get more like him every day.
A ver, vale. Uf, muchas cosas a la vez.
I will
A ver.
take that as a compliment.
No sé qué le ha dicho.
Prime Minister,
No me he enterado
later
de
on this
nada
evening, your
absolutamente de lo que han
co-leader,
estado
Julia
hablando.
Salisbury is going to give a national address from team headquarters. Can you give us a hint of what she's going to say?
Bueno, por lo menos la audiencia no va mal. Vamos a ver, bien. Cámara.
Well, I imagine that there
Sorry,
will be
sorry, you
the
imagine?
usual. No, what I mean is,
You do know about this broadcast, don't you, Prime Minister?
I'm sure I did. But Julia and I have no secrets from each other. We don't memorize each other's bloody diaries either. As my old mum used to say, if you
Se
want to
está
get a
cabreando
job
cada vez
done
más.
quick, don't get bogged down in the pubes. What else you got?
Sorry?
Only cards, what else? A little piece of my life do you want to rustle through? Get out, refill my last. Ah, come on. Come on.
Okay. What music do you listen to when you work out?
A ver.
Well, Gail tells me that I work out to Little C, but I have absolutely no
Sing?
fucking idea who that is. And do you think the C stands for...
It stands for collaborative, Prime Minister.
Yeah,
Vale.
that does make more sense, actually.
How's rationing affecting you?
It's hard, but we get by. You just have to learn to get by on the basics. Take comfort in each other.
Racionamiento, sí, poniéndose hasta el culo de whisky.
And many a fine single malt. I want for nothing.
Así se vive muy bien el razonamiento.
Except for a decent night's sleep, of course.
Prime Minister, thank you for joining us. When we come back, it's time for the Culture Spot with Lil C and a world premiere performance of her new song. I genuinely can't wait to hear that. We'll be back.
Dos.
We'll be back. 1 minute back, everybody.
Vale, uff.
And that is what happens when you wander from the cast.
I don't think you knew about her statement.
I don't think anyone's supposed to know. When you mentioned it, Bozeman's face turned a colour that I think you call embolism.
Am I in trouble?
Bozeman? Nah, you're like the daughter you never had. I suppose the
Vale, ok.
Who's Lil C?
Vale, ok. Esta es la... Se lleva bien con el Bozeman.
What? I'm civilized. I read books.
Vale. Bueno. No es la mejor valoración que hemos sacado, pero no está mal. Vale. Cambios en la mesa, vale, los botones en los siguientes segmentos. Primero vamos a necesitar aplauso. Vale, me dirá, vale. Entonces estos botones son rollo SITCOM. Aplausos, el O, el abucheo y las risas enlatadas. Vale. Ok. Vale, pues esperamos que termine el anuncio de Crazy Nin.
I've never heard of her before.
Y bueno, cámara.
She any good?
Nah, of course not. She's dog shit. But kids go mad for her, absolutely mad.
Live in 10 seconds. Hang on, Colin, you've got kids.
Yeah, I've got about 6 or 7, I think.
What?
5 o 6 creo.
3.
Vale.
Thanks for coming back. Later, we have an exciting new feature that we just know you're going to love, so stay tuned for that. But first, I'm really excited for our next guest. She rose to prominence as the delightful Susie May in All My Daughter's Children's Men, before taking the music industry by storm this year with her debut album smashing the chart records at the age of just 20. Let's give it up and welcome Lil C! I just say, you look incredible.
Oh, thanks, babe. I'm doing this new regime and it really does work.
Ooh, what's the regime?
My manager suggested it to me. It basically involves bathing in like cabbage water and then having the leaves sucked out of you while you sleep.
Wow, is that healthy?
Oh, well, look at me, Meg. The leaves are my only nourishment.
Yep, they certainly are. Now, you'll have to forgive me, but I'm somewhat of a super fan, so I'm sorry if I get a bit starstruck.
Oh, bless you. I've never actually heard of you before, so if you do get a little tongue-tied, I can always carry the interview.
Oh, that's good to know.
Vaya.
So your first album, F My Face Together, it hit shelves this summer and it just exploded. I mean, what was that like for you?
Bonkers, just so weird. I was in all the papers and the magazines. Overnight, I went from that like annoying little girl from that show to that like sexy little girl from that show.
Wow, that must have been bizarre.
Not really, it was just like any other morning. You know, get up at 5, go on a 4-mile run, have 3 meetings on my cabbage bath, but then only then was my dad actually talking to me.
Oh, of course. I mean, the famed country singer, Billy Bob Jean Short. I didn't know you'd been
Recolectar audiencia.
Well, there's nothing that strange about it, Megan. Okay, yes, if you may believe that aliens told him to hate women. But there really isn't anything to prove that he's wrong.
So, this newfound explosion into your popularity, I mean, did that change your life?
Well,
Venga,
start wearing like nice underwear, you know, for the paparazzi. But as my manager says, best to make the most of it before I'm 30.
Is that right? So, what's the album about?
So I thought it was about like how pretty and great I am, but actually it's about monetizing youth, I think, or about like promoting an unrealistic standard of beauty or something.
Your manager again?
Yeah, he says insecurity is an opportunity.
Oh, you think he'd be happy with you telling us all this?
Telling you all what? It really doesn't matter what I say here. I'll do my dancing and then this part will all be forgotten about.
Oh, Well, yeah, I mean, we're going to see some of those famous dance moves very shortly because you're going to be performing your new single, aren't you?
Yeah, it's from my album Put It In My Own Together, and it's out tomorrow.
So soon, after the last one?
Oh yeah, I've actually released 2 albums since lunchtime and a clothing line during this interview. See, this is called Cry for Help, and it's going to be in all the best high street and retailer shops, and it's out now. So girlies, you know what to do. Scream and cry until somebody gets it for you.
Ooh. There she goes. Blimey.
Vale, que se me van las ondas.
It must be tough.
Yeah, it can get tough, and I hate it sometimes, and I hate myself. I just want to like cry into a bath of root veg. But then I think thousands of girls would do anything to me, so I must be quite lucky.
Well, you know you don't have to do this, though, don't you?
Yeah, I do think that sometimes.
Vale.
Most nights between like my full book and the 8th kind of stranger slapping around the arse. I think things could have been different, like better. But I don't know. I love doing autographs and having somebody dress me and tell me what to wear.
Did you always want to do music?
Well, ever since I was a little girl, I did. I'd sit in front of the
Bueno.
My favourite girl would come when I pressed record on my cassette, but then my dad would come in and tell me to turn it off and to go back upstairs and start practicing again.
Sorry, is your dad your manager?
Vale.
Yeah, which can be tough, and sometimes
Venga, necesitamos subir un poquito de audiencia.
Make Quagler proud and you might just survive childbirth.
Well, you know what, despite anything, you'll make me proud.
Oh, if only your opinion was as valuable as his.
And on that problematic note, you're going to be singing your song for us soon, aren't you? Tell me about it.
So it's called These Babies Gonna Bring You Home, and I got some lyrics in the car on the way up here. You know what, it's actually all right. And don't worry, all my work is team approved.
All right then, well, you can go and get ready for that. We'll see you in a little bit. It was a very specific type of pleasure to chat to her, and I just can't wait to hear this. Whoa, so here is Lucy with an exclusive first performance of her new track, These Babies Gonna Bring You Home. Take it away.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's the Force's favorite, the Queen of Team.
Vale.
Here to break in your blockades, Lil C.
Ya estamos con el ritmo.
Oh baby, can't you see I'm hungry? There's a place in me that's empty. I want that meat you're packing. Only you can fill that crack in me. I'm under siege, so come and free me.
Madre, qué mal.
No disruption here, boy, I got no agenda. Just want the team and me. Nobody far and
Qué mal.
Don't stop no morning till there's holes in me that ain't been filled yet. I only scream this loud when you do your country proud. I ain't no Vickers, but I come in Spanish on my border. Quick before I get much older, tie me down and pull me like an enemy soldier. An enemy soldier. So let them try and break our dream. We fight and love and die at two. So what a feed at Clemens boys can come and use me as a toy. I wanna see some action, so come and break my sanctions. I've been this wild and free since my
Ya he perdido el ritmo completamente.
She was only 53 but gave to save her family. There's no one judging me if I'm the one that's in your fantasy. Don't die alone, this baby's gonna bring you home. I ain't no Vickers, but I come in Spanish on my border. Quick before I get much older, tie me down and pull me like an enemy soldier.
Venga ahí, subiendo audiencia.
Enemy soldier.
Y a tope. Ahí subiendo audiencia. Necesito una buena pantalla.
I wanna see some action, so come and break my sanctions.
if that doesn't distract you from the world outside, I don't know what will. I'd like to thank Phil C for doing that. Don't go anywhere. After the break, we'll finally be revealing the new segment of our show that we just know you're going to love. We'll be back right after this.
And we're out.
Vale. Bueno. Regular. Podía haber ido mejor la canción, pero bueno, es lo que había. Este es el anuncio de guerra.
Thank you so much for letting me do this. It really means a lot to me, you know. Yeah. To be able to promote myself on such a mainstream platform like the news.
Well, don't worry about it. And you know what? Good luck for the future. Take care of yourself. This industry can be crazy sometimes. Watch out for that father of yours, won't you?
Oh, no. I manage myself. It's just, you know, for the public to have that certain perspective on me. You know what it's like.
Oh, right.
And Michael? Michael?
What about Billy Bob Jean Short? Is he?
Oh, my dad. He's such a sweetheart. We both had the same agents, you know, like it just made sense. Both of us for our image together.
Wow.
And Michael, I want to see the revenue share for the clothing line and get me a G&T before my meeting with the lube guys. If they say for your pleasure, I'm going to start needing it.
Oh, buena puntuación, Cuatro botones de efectos. El sonido más adecuado según lo que digan los actores. Ellos no pueden oír los efectos, así que supondrán que los estás ayudando. Vale. Bien, intentaremos hacerlo bien.
Absolutely, right away. 10 seconds. 5, 4, 3.
Thanks for joining us for part 3. We've been teasing you about our new feature all night, and now the wait is finally over. I can reveal that every night on the show, we'll be treated to an episode of an informative and hilarious new segment called The Notice Board. It stars some top talent, and we're very excited about it. But before we see it, let's have a quick chat with the writer, director, and phenomenon, may I say, Jeff Algebra, guys.
Actually, I've dropped the algebra. I go by Jeff DePoon now. How'd you like that?
Yeah, I suppose you need a new name now that you're a successful artiste.
Well, exactly. I'm earning enough to pay taxes now.
Oh.
It's shit.
And how does Angela feel about all this?
Who?
Your wife.
Oh, God, no. No, she's long gone. No, she was holding me back. I'm with Norm now. We were married last month.
Norm de Plume.
Yeah.
And why did you write this? What was your inspiration?
Oh, well, I received a telephone call offering me 25 grand to write a pro-team sitcom. And I heard my father's voice. It said, Jeff, you listen here, boy. You make hay.
Bien, hay que subir audiencia.
You wring every penny you can get out of this. So I wheeled him down to the transition centre, got out my typewriter and started clacking.
Vaya.
Utter shite.
And without further ado, let's give it up for the notice board.
You have to play a sound effect, Alex. Alex, if you keep this up, you'll ruin the notice board.
Vale.
To be happy.
Good morning, Miss Craven.
Oh, morning, Ray.
Everything all right, Mrs. Craven? You look as worried as the vicar in closing time.
Oh, Ray, it's those young louts. They've vandalised my shop again.
Vale.
Yes! They've written all sorts of obscene language and crude pictures, and I know it's those damn youths.
I don't know. It could be the vicar at closing time.
Pero por...
I'm just worried they won't ever become productive members of the community. What if they never see the error of their ways and end up as social outcasts, such as shoplifters or bong rats?
Don't worry, Mrs. Craven. This is a very supportive community, And I'm sure
Vale.
that in time,
Vale, más o menos voy pillando lo del SITCOM, pero no mucho,
society, like this key into this lock.
Vale.
See? Works like a charm.
What a lovely way to put it, Ray. And just like that, we can unlock their future.
Yes, yes. Wow! Look at all the letters in my collection today.
Oh, I think that one's addressed to me.
What? This one? Oh, so you're right.
No entiendo nada, esto es muy absurdo todo. Vale, pero por lo menos estoy pillando lo de los botones.
It's a letter from my granddaughter, Brenda. She says she got an A on her maths exam because one of her friends has been helping her. She was always a team player, was our Brenda.
What's up, losers? What's up, losers?
Oh, no! It's Brad. He's the coolest guy in the village.
That's right. I just got here on my motorbike.
Oh, clear off, Brad. We don't want any of your ilk around here.
What? Rad dudes?
No, ruffians. Have you come to tag the notice board with your gang signs?
No way. I've actually come to pin my resume on that notice board. I'm looking to do some tutoring after school.
What did you say? Tutoring?
That's right. Maths is very important. Would you mind, Ray?
Not at all.
So you, a young person, have been spending your time helping others and not just urinating on churches or huffing glue?
Hey, I haven't huffed glue for months.
Well, blow me down!
You know what? We misjudged you based on how young and cool you are and not on your actions.
No doy.
So it wasn't you who vandalized my shop last night or called me a rancid old crone from the back of a chopper?
No way. It can't have been me. I was too busy helping my friend Brenda with her maths homework.
Could you speak up there? I thought from
Venga, que va bien la
there
cosa.
that you said Brenda.
I did, you daft old sow.
Did you hear that, Ray?
Oh, yes, what a wonderful surprise. I now respect you as a man.
Put her there, Ray. Oh, what the heck? Give us a hug.
¿Qué está pasando? ¿Qué ha pasado? ¿Por qué? ¿Qué pasa?
Sorry to interrupt the first groundbreaking episode of the notice board,
¿Qué ha pasado?
but we are receiving some breaking news. I'm being told we are picking up reports from across the continent of what appear to be
¿Qué ha pasado?
what appear to be nuclear explosions in 4
Explosiones
major
nucleares.
foreign cities. Initial estimates put the death toll into they put them into millions. I'm being told we're experiencing some power shortages as a result, so apologies for the interruption. And apparently we can go live now to team headquarters for an emergency broadcast from Prime Minister Julia Salisbury any moment. Yes, let's go to that now. Yes, let's go to that now.
Good evening, citizens and leaders of the world. Minutes ago, operatives working for Advance detonated nuclear explosives simultaneously in 4 major cities across the continent.
¿Otra bomba nuclear?
We have similar devices in 58 other urban centers, and will not hesitate to detonate them if our conditions are not met in full.
And what could be minor earthquakes throughout.
People of our territory will no longer tolerate your illegal and genocidal blockade. You are to remove it immediately. We will accept nothing less than your unconditional surrender. Your territories will be taken under our control. We will install replacement governments to ensure that your citizens become part of the new future. Your borders are now our borders. Your people are our people. They will finally be fed and clothed and educated and healed.
A ver la ondita.
But for your privileged few, the moment that they feared is now upon them. Allow me to be crystal clear. If you fire a single shot at our territory or harm a single one of our citizens, we will not hesitate to detonate further devices.
Esto se está poniendo chungo.
You will not find
A ver la ondita.
no doubt you are
No me estoy enterando bien del discurso por la ondita.
Our technology is decades ahead of yours.
Ay, 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 ay.
We will expect your complete acceptance of our terms by midnight tonight. Thank you.
¿Esta qué va a decir ahora?
I don't really talk about my personal life in my job. It's not relevant or important.
Bien.
So many of you may be surprised to learn that I have a brother. His name is David.
Porque está hablando de su hermano
And
ahora.
right now I can't get his stupid face out of my head. He's a researcher and he's currently travelling the continent for work. And
Madre mía.
I don't know where he is right now. And I should imagine that there are many of you sitting at home tonight digesting this news, and you also have loved ones on the continent.
Madre mía, esto se está yendo a la mierda todo.
Or Javier, or San Palmerino, or Conislava, which is where David was when I last spoke to him 3 years ago.
¿Qué pasa?
So when I tell you, I know how you are feeling tonight. Believe me, I do.
Claro, y mi hija estaba por ahí también, en uno de los sitios
But
donde
I
ha dicho.
also know that there's a flow to events. I see it every day here. I know that although tonight it feels like we may be in a time of fear and darkness, we may actually be at the break of a new dawn.
Filo de un nuevo amanecer. Eso no tiene por qué ser bueno.
Together we will find out, and I will be here every night, feeling what you are feeling, and with your help,
Bueno,
maybe we can all get to that brave new world.
Brave New World.
My name's Megan Wolf.
Anuncios.
Let's make tomorrow better.
And we're out.
Uf.
I've got people ringing around, but the telephone networks are overloaded. We'll find him.
Do we know exactly which cities?
¿Qué ciudades? Madre mía.
We will find him.
Vaya tela. Explosiones nucleares. Buena valoración también. Eso está muy bien. Vamos a ver. Valoración, Muy bien. Bueno, una bonificación. Vale. Audiencia. Vale. Todos contentos. Madre mía, no me lo puedo creer. Están todos contentos. Día 371, una respuesta adecuada. Lo que queda de turno lo pasas con una visión emborronada, mientras en tu cabeza resuenan una y otra vez las mismas palabras. Los trabajadores de Advan han detonado unas bombas nucleares. Según datos iniciales, el número de fallecidos alcanza el 1.000.000. ¿Esto es en serio? ¿Qué se está poniendo la cosa? Aparcas en la entrada sin recuerdo alguno de lo sucedido durante el trayecto. La luz de una de las habitaciones está encendida. Hay alguien despierto. Abres la puerta del salón, que emite un chirrido, y te encuentras a Sam en el sofá mirando fijamente la televisión. La pantalla está apagada, pero Sam no pierde vista. Te sientas a su lado y le colocas una mano en el hombro. Sin mirarte, se estira para agarrarte la mano. De cerca gozas de una vista más clara de su mirada. Nunca antes la habías visto así. Chris y Susie están... Lo sé, ¿y qué hacemos? ¿Y qué narices podemos hacer? Los muy desalmados acabaron con Chris, Susie y con millones de personas más, y todo por culpa de una puta guerra que nunca pedimos. Las lágrimas dan paso a una rabia interior que jamás habías visto en Sam. Los odio, Alex. Sé que nunca has admirado a Advan, precisamente, pero han demostrado ser monstruosos. Para mí es importante que lo entiendas. No podemos quedarnos de brazos cruzados y hay que hacer algo. Advan hizo lo que había que hacer, y yo me alegro de que estuvieran preparados para protegernos. No creo que sea tan sencillo, el país sufre y hay que acabar con la guerra. No se puede justificar la masacre. Los que la justifican son igual de malvados. No se puede justificar. Sam suspira con alivio y se deja caer sobre ti a la par que te abraza. Está claro que se ha quitado un peso de encima. Por tu parte desconoces si lo has digerido todo aún. Al menos lo superaréis en compañía. Día 380, el último adiós. La última semana ha pasado volando. Tenías un montón de cosas que hacer, pero las olvidaste por completo. Tus recuerdos son demasiado borrosos. Han pasado 9 días desde la supuesta noche de la liberación y desde el comienzo del nuevo futuro de Advance. La iglesia ya estaba abarrotada a tu llegada. Te conmovió la cantidad de gente que había acudido para llorar tu misma pérdida. Todos por un mismo motivo, compartiendo el mismo dolor, la misma sensación de pérdida. Sus caras los dicen todo, igual que la tuya. Te apartas de todos, pues necesitas alejarte para pensar. Has perdido a tu pequeña Susie y a Chris. Sam no ha hablado mucho desde aquella noche, pero ¿quién eres tú para juzgar eso? Tampoco has estado mucho mejor. Aparece Sam en silencio y te aprieta la mano con fuerza en un acto de desesperación, buscando consuelo y le devuelves el apretón. En el fondo no puedes evitar preguntarte si has tenido parte de culpa. Esta cicatriz tardará un tiempo en curarse. Ni siquiera había ataúdes que enterrar. Ya tela. ¡Qué rapidez! Día 713. Éxodo académico. En lo que parecía una mañana normal, al llegar a trabajar te topas con un pequeño grupo de personas en la sala de descanso. Cuando vas a por tu té, sin querer escuchas algo que llama la atención. No lo sabías, pues sí, ha desaparecido otra persona. ¿Cuántas van ya? Me parece que más de 100, aunque no se ha informado de todas las desapariciones. Oye, ¿qué pasa? Vale, están desapareciendo gente, es que esta gente... Una joven agitada te mira y espeta. Ha desaparecido otro profesor de la Universidad de Queensview. El año pasado desaparecieron varios científicos, médicos e investigadores. Hace una pausa susurrante. Disrupción está yendo a por la gente que se pronuncia en su contra. Hasta me he enterado de que Advan está haciendo todo lo posible por... De pronto a tus espaldas escuchas una voz grave que te resulta familiar. ¿Qué pasa? Un silencio invade la sala mientras al unísono os giráis hacia la puerta. Boxman se aclara la garganta antes de continuar. Te lo he dicho antes, no quiero oír lo de las desapariciones. Venga ya chicos, Advan ha demostrado que es de fiar. Vamos, que no son un problema, y a menos que ahora los capuchinos se consideren seres intelectuales, no creo que nadie deba preocuparse. Será mejor volver al trabajo. Boxman extiende la mano para que no abandones la sala junto a los demás. A ver, sé que sueles hacer lo que te viene en gana, pero va siendo hora de que pares. Advan es el que manda, y ha evidenciado lo que quiere. La postura oficial del Canal 1 es que el gobierno tiene controlada la situación, ni más ni menos. Espero que sea la última vez. Asiente de forma cortante antes de marcharse. Al parecer, para bien o para mal, la propiedad pública ahora funciona como la seda. Uf, qué chunguito todo. Día 850. Carrera en proceso. Impaciente tamborilea sobre el volante mientras esperas de nuevo a Charlie. Es bueno que lo esté pasando bien en los cadetes de cohesión y que tenga tanto entusiasmo, pero ¿de verdad hace falta que se quede a ayudar semana sí semana también? Al rato observas cómo sale del pasillo con una sonrisa en la cara. No puedes evitar devolverle la sonrisa. La frustración que sentías se desvanece al ver que rebosa felicidad. Después de despedirse de sus amigos con un abrazo, Charlie se acerca al coche y entra. Su cara es la verdadera representación del entusiasmo. ¿Y qué tal?, te interrumpe, pero incapaz de contenerse acto seguido espeta aún. ¿Sabes qué? ¿Cómo? Le sigues la corriente con una sonrisa. A ver, Charlie, cálmate y dime qué es. Pues le sigo la corriente. ¿Cómo? Pues para convertirse en ACC hay que empezar como cadete de cohesión. Por eso nos dan un empujón al postular. Habla Charlie con entusiasmo. Notas que tiene tantas ganas de hablarte que sus palabras se pisan unas a las otras. Al parecer, a partir del año que viene, el 5% de los mejores cadetes participarán en un programa especial que les permitirá ascender a GCC, Gestores de Cohesión Comunitaria. Y a que no sabes quién estará, te sonríe. Qué buena noticia, Charlie, nos enorgullecemos de ti. Ya veo, ¿y qué se supone que hacen los gestores de cohesión comunitaria? Ya veo, ¿y qué hacen? A ver, básicamente necesitan un grupo que intermedie entre la gente de a pie y los ACC y el departamento de mejora. Es decir, nosotros, la gente nos viene con sus preocupaciones y nosotros decidimos si necesitan referentes. Y si es así, ¿a qué departamento? ¿A qué mola? Me parece bien, enhorabuena, chavalín. Entonces te vas a dedicar a ayudar a la gente a informar sobre sus amigos y vecinos. Se va a convertir en un informador. Vamos a tirársela, se va a cabrear, pero me da igual. Ya bueno, pero solo las personas malas. El objetivo es ayudar a la comunidad y hacer que sea segura para todo el mundo. Charlie frunce el ceño. ¿No te gustan los ACC o los equipos de mejora? No, no es eso, olvídalo. Bien hecho, chavalín, me enorgullezco de ti. Me preocupa que tenga tanto poder y que puedan volver a las personas en contra. Me preocupa. Me estás recordando a las personas a las que Pan quiere ayudar. Charlie te mira con el rostro serio. Tranqui, me voy a asegurar de que todo el mundo recibe la ayuda que necesita. Es algo positivo para la comunidad y el equipo podrá ayudar a todo el mundo. Asiente y se reclina en el asiento. El ambiente en el coche es un poco frío durante el resto del trayecto. Esperas que no sea un indicio de cómo van a ir las cosas. Día 872. La chispa que prendió la llama. Al despertarte te sorprendes al ver a Sam a tu lado. Anoche llegó a las tantas después de que saliera a tomar algo con los otros profes del colegio. Decides dejar que duerma toda la mañana para que descanse. Con la casa en silencio te llevas el desayuno al salón para disfrutar de la televisión mientras comes. Noticia de última hora. Anoche se produjo un incendio en varios sectores amplios de la granja como consecuencia de un atroz ataque terrorista organizado por parte de un grupo denominado Disrupción, tal y como informan las autoridades. Hundes la cuchara en las gachas y subes el volumen. Además de las tiendas de alimentación, que según fuentes gubernamentales sobrecargarán los centros de menú universales de todo el mundo, varios ACC y centros públicos fueron atacados anoche. Según Julia Salisbury, la primera ministra, los criminales asaltaron algunas de las cárceles e instalaciones de mejora y rehabilitación. Además, liberaron cierto grupo de individuos problemáticos y potencialmente peligrosos en custodia. Contienes la respiración a la esperanza de saber si hay heridos. Por desgracia, dada la falta de capacidad por parte de los ACC, Disrupción logró imponerse gracias a su excelente organización. La mayor parte de los lugares asaltados estaban vacíos, pero como consecuencia de la hora que se efectuaron los ataques, los centros de mejoras contaban con todo el personal. 17 ACC y 4 miembros de la administración perdieron la vida anoche en manos de los atroces terroristas de Disrupción. Además, un gran número de heridos tuvo que ser transportado de emergencia al hospital. Durante el conflicto, las autoridades capturaron a varios de los miembros, aunque se estima que la amplia mayoría sigue a la fuga. Les seguiremos informando. Apagas la televisión. La entrada de Charlie en el salón te interrumpe. Parece no haber dormido bien y lleva una tostada en la mano. Algo interesante, dice mientras señala el televisor. En silencio, dejas el canal de noticias que vuelva a relatar lo sucedido. Charlie observa la pantalla en silencio. Al final de la emisión apodan la noche del fuego a lo ocurrido. No estamos en peligro, ¿verdad? ¿Todo saldrá bien, chavalín? Espero que sí. Ya veremos. Todo saldrá bien, chavalín. Que siempre que pone chavalín me tienta. Día 912. Día 912. La noche de la... 1 año y medio desde la noche de la liberación. escuchas?
Alex.
Alex.
Are you receiving? Calling. Come in, Alex. Can you hear the signal? Pick up. This is Alan James. The revolution starts tonight, Alex, and we need your help.
Vale.
Throughout this broadcast, we're going to ask you to do things that will directly help with this mass protest. I'll be talking to you regularly tonight, and I'll also be hacking in when I
¿Me está hablando el Alex, John? Vale.
Please help get our message out. We're on the
Vale,
verge,
vale,
Alex.
vale.
You've always been fair and balanced in your approach to us. With your help,
Bueno.
we can tip the balance in our favor. If you play our
¿Que
tape
quieren que
the
les
same
ayude?
way, that's when we think it will have the most impact. It's on your right.
Episode of Just the Job.
Quiere que ponga la cinta en el segundo.
By a chance to see the very last episode.
Because I don't want to go on a date with your cousin, Colin.
What have you got to lose?
Vale.
Reputation?
It's all right once you get past the teeth and the problematic tattoo.
I am perfectly capable of messing up my own love life.
Sorry about that.
¿Quiere que les ayude? Pues no estoy muy seguro. No estoy muy seguro de ayudarles.
I can help you. I'm an expert at romance. Ask my ex-wives.
Please don't set me up with your brother. That's 10 seconds, everybody.
You're not as tight, babe.
Too short?
Too smart.
Going in 5, 4, 3.
To the newsroom for tonight's National Nightly News.
Good evening. This is the National Nightly News, broadcasting across the territories. My name is Megan Wolfe. Our top stories tonight. Ashes to ashes. It's been 40 days since Disrupt conducted attacks across the territories. The coordinated action, dubbed the Night of Fire by commentators, was seen as an attempt to subvert the supply chain, but there may
Voy a poner esta, que creo que es la buena. A ver.
After a roadside IED toppled the convoy, prisoners, including Portia Hamilton Mann, the daughter of the former Prime Minister, were freed and have subsequently vanished.
Madre mía, no sé en la que me estoy metiendo.
Presumed to have fled the territories. Here at Channel 1, we say good riddance to bad rubbish. Food, glorious food. With the last of the menu centres opening in territories 5, 8 and 14 today, Advance confirmed that the programme is now in full operation, providing free food for every citizen of the new future. What started as rationing during the 20-week war has blossomed into a social contract that is the envy of the unawakened world. Jack Tractorpants, spokesman for the menu centres, said today that while they can guarantee the contents of every box is nutritious, the actual quality of the meals you cook depends on whether you have a touch of Chef Jordan Rankley or the culinary skills of a professional footballer. If I were a rich man, problems in territories 11, 17 and 22 today as striking bosses attempted to undermine their new economies. With seemingly no awareness of irony, the former CEOs and MDs have come together to form the Wealth Creators Union, with demands including a return to 150% bonuses, private jets and mandatory grovelling zones. In an annoying show of petulance, the former elites drove their luxury vehicles at 10 miles per hour up and down the motaways of their respective territories. The coordinated protest of elites inconvenienced several 100,000 of their employees.
Qué miedo da que algunas cosas se parezcan
Signs of
tanto.
ever more resistance to Advance's radical policies today, as popular resistance movement Disrupt extended their reach further across the territories. The organisation's emblem appeared in every major city across the territories last night in a well-coordinated publicity stunt, which has seen them dominate the headlines.
No vamos a poner al panda.
Asked about the impressive display earlier today, Disrupt spokesperson Alan James said that the movement was reaching what he described as a critical mass. A poor choice of words given recent history. Three stories we've been reporting on reached their revelatory conclusions today. Firstly,
Flardo, sigo sin saber lo que es un flardo.
capitalizing on the global success of Die-Flardo.
Estas son iguales.
Transformative CEO Sophia Remington today welcomed followers to the First United Church of Flard.
La iglesia unificada del flardo.
CEO of Remington's Fifth to
Me
take up the role
encanta.
of High Flard Mistress said the idea came to her in a vision, saying, I was elbow deep in Blunderclatch when I felt something unexpectedly flard. A surprising ending there for Sophia Remington after
Muy buena, la iglesia del flardo, me encanta.
running the company. Artie Pants. Reports that the scientists trapped in Dante's taint have settled in for the long haul
Estas son iguales también.
today. Seen here
Venga, vamos a
enjoying
elegir la
their
otra.
first annual arts festival, which they call Dante's Paint. The team say they've changed focus. Science got us into this mess, but only the arts can save us, said one of the exhibitors from beside a sculpture made of pubic hair and horses.
No sé si sacar la cinta.
Beer tycoon and world's richest man, Johnny Hamsleeves, is seeking to cement his place in the annals of history by today releasing his own currency. Johnny claims the mint he's installed on the east shore of his private island can print 100,000 hammies an hour. Lacking any status as legal tender whatsoever, he encourages customers to use it to fill swimming pools, decorate living rooms, or trick the elderly. All that, plus we'll be taking a trip to Dangly Parts for the notice board, as well as getting a sneak peek at the hottest ticket in town. That's all coming up on tonight's National Nightly News.
¿Qué pasa?
Today is the day we take back control. Soon it will be time.
But first, 500 days after the loss of a fine leader,
¿Qué está pasando?
the start of tonight's programme is dedicated to remembering and celebrating the life of Peter Clement. Patrick Bannon is live from Parliament Park, where Julia Salisbury will be breaking ground and there will soon be a memorial garden in Peter's honour.
And here for too much longer, listening to that old bitch lying through her teeth about missing that poor bastard.
Patrick,
I don't know what I'm going to do.
We're live.
Because I'm not being funny. Things were better with Peter, weren't they?
Patrick?
They were, and I don't mind saying it. They were, because he held her back. But now there's no stopping her.
Hello, Patrick, we're
Of
live.
course, can't say that, can I, Francis? No, not with public ownership. No, with public ownership, you can't say anything these days.
No le va, no le va.
Off the rocker. I heard from an aide that... Hello, Megan, you join me here live from the what? Hello, Megan, you join me here live from the what?
Se le ha colado.
Signal there for a moment. Well, we will be going live to that groundbreaking ceremony just as soon as we can get Patrick back. Meanwhile, let me just say, I think the memorial gardens are going to be gorgeous. I've had a sneak peek at the designs and Alana Marsh has done.
Madre mía, se le ha colado todo.
Oh, okay, all right. It seems like we have got the signal back. We can now go live to Patrick Bannon in Parliament Park. Patrick.
Thank you, Megan. I'm Megan. Patrick Bannon, and we are indeed live here. Apologies for the technical difficulties there, but any moment now, Julia Salisbury will step out on stage behind me.
Alex, Bozeman here. The boys in editing have just informed me that the eulogy footage isn't fully cut together yet. You're going to have to do it on the fly.
Que tengo que hacerlo yo, pero vale.
Slowly gathering since this afternoon.
Mrs. Allen, you can undermine them here and help us win hearts and minds. Make him look bad, Alex. Really bad.
Vale, me está diciendo que saque todo lo peor.
And it seems like the ceremony is getting underway.
Vale.
Here is Prime Minister Julia
Vale,
Salisbury,
veremos,
the
a ver.
picture of elegance, to begin her address.
Good evening, fellow teammates and friends. 500 days ago,
Este tío que además no me caía nada bien, o sea que no lo voy a tener difícil.
Still reeling from the triumphs and tribulations of Liberation Night, another great loss befell the people of these newly united territories. The loss of a leader, a statesman, a dear friend, and a hero. Peter Gordon Clement.
Peter's death at the age of just 62, of course, announced by the team on the 24th of December, just 6 weeks after Liberation Night.
Born to a working-class family on a housing estate in Rotherham, Peter first trained as a carpenter before getting his start on television. First moving and building scenery, and then developing into the personality that we all knew and loved so much.
Just the Job first hit our screens
Necesito
over
subir la audiencia.
25 years ago, running for 11 series, winning multiple awards, and charming audiences up and down the country.
Peter taught us, all of us, not to be content with the way things are, not to accept inequities, no matter how small. But he also taught us what it took to fight them. Courage, integrity, empathy, and hard, bloody graft.
Across a career spanning 3 decades,
Ni siquiera estoy sacando bastante mal.
was known for shows including Wake Up, It's Saturday, and much later, late night chat show PT, which at its peak drew millions of viewers.
Peter was by no means a saint. Trust me, he once told me he had more regrets than he'd had stolen dinners. He always did have a knack for a turn of phrase. But it speaks to the strength of his character that he chose to share with us his mistakes alongside his achievements. His faults as well
Vale,
as
estoy
his
subiendo la
talents.
audiencia, que es lo que necesitaba.
Peter had the heart to give it all he had for the people of these united territories.
Famous for his potty mouth, it's estimated conservatively that Peter Clement uttered over 1.5 million swear words during his career, though some sources put this figure well in excess of 2 million F-bombs alone.
Gripped by illness as he was in the weeks and months leading up to Liberation Night,
Necesito subir más la
he
audiencia.
wasn't the man we loved. But his eyes still twinkled with that familiar joy for life, that spark of wit and wisdom of a life
Venga, que
lived
está
for
subiendo.
others.
Prime Minister Clement, of course, died from apparent liver failure after suffering from the long-term effects of alcohol abuse.
I first met Peter nearly 20 years ago, moments before I was supposed to give a speech. Not unlike this one, actually. Only I'd spilt coffee all down myself, and I was young, nervous, desperate to be liked, and from behind me I heard, "Christ, pet, you've either pissed your cats or sprung a leak, but either way you got a problem." And before I could even say a word, he stripped off his dry trousers and insisted I took them.
Madre mía.
That was the sort of man that Peter Clement was. Kind, compassionate, sensitive, a brilliant thinker, a natural leader,
Audiencia sube.
but mostly a good man. This glorious, beautiful and new, this shining beacon of
Thank you, Alex. There'll be another opportunity to steer public
Esto me va a
perception
pasar
soon.
factura.
It's really starting. You'll know when.
his accomplishments, the future he forged, the boundaries he pushed.
Pero si es que no puedo cambiar.
To me, he'll always be the man in his pants cheering on a stranger at the back of the conference.
Si es que no puedo cambiar.
It is my great honor to give to you the Peter Clement Memorial Garden. Shall we see if we can get a countdown going? Everyone with me? 10, 9, 8, 7.
Wow.
Now, Alex, control the message.
I'm not leaving, I can't!
Oi!
You two, come with me! Don't panic! No! We're gonna help you. We need a medic here!
Stop resisting then! Stop resisting and we'll let you up!
I'm not resisting! Ah! Fuck
What are you doing?
I'm not resisting! You also...
Come on, we have to stay by your side.
I am the Prime Minister.
Turn the camera off! National Night News. We have the right to be here.
Madre mía, pero ¿qué ha pasado? Han puesto una bomba.
Look at me, look at me.
Oh, I can't hear you. I can't hear anything.
Yes, medics are coming. You sit down.
No, I can't hear you. I'm from the National...
No, stay with me. I need help
A ver.
now. Please.
Madre mía, qué locura. Esto se está volviendo en algo súper loco. Vamos.
You were guilty of the murder of more than 10 million people.
Hombre, ahí algo de ración tiene.
Demands a response.
Haven't you done enough? Look around you. This is what your precious freedom looks like, is it? Under fire! God, no.
Madre mía, se la han cargado.
Break windows, draw them out. They can't stop us all. Resist.
Lower your weapons.
Mom?
Secure. Lower your weapons now. Centre Coast authorization was granted. None.
What are you doing? Come on!
Will you turn that off, please, sir? I said, please turn that off.
Bueno.
Shocking scenes from the capital there.
Is this not enough? You've just seen them execute unarmed civilians. People like you and me.
Upsetting, but at the National Nightly News we believe in bringing you the raw, unedited truth as it happens. And we make no apologies for that. We'll update you on the latest from this disrupt attack later in the programme, but when we come back, it's time for happier pursuits, and you know what that means by now. Don't go away. We'll be back after this. We'll be back.
Vaya movida. Sí, claro, venga. O sea, te voy a estar haciendo caso a ti también. Pues no tengo ya movidas.
Different tonight. This is the big one. Great. So there's a revolution happening outside and we're off to dandy fucking parks.
That's journalism, apparently. We get set for the next sequence.
Come on in. Tell them about our thrones.
Big thrones.
Big thrones for big
Uf.
Here, have some money. And the more you spend, the more...
Ha sido intensito. A ver qué pasa ahora. Porque es que ya me espero cualquier cosa, madre mía. Muy loco todo.
We got thrones to put in your hallway, to put in your stallway, to put in your doorway. What do we got?
Oh, doorways.
No, thrones.
Thrones.
A ver, bueno. A ver cómo hacemos la segunda parte. Madre mía, y a ver por dónde sale esto, porque yo no sé esto cómo va a acabar. Está empezando a pintar muy chungo todo. O sea que...
Alex.
Vale.
During this next section, a cameraman working in the newsroom, who's one of us, is going to get a coded location.
Una cámara de los suyos en una ubicación clave.
But if we find out, I'll let you know.
Pero me
Just keep
avisará.
your eyes out for the fist and try and keep it on the air for at least 5 seconds.
Vale,
Our
5
operatives will do the
segundos.
rest.
Enseñar el puño 5 segundos.
This is your new makeup artist, Craig.
No.
What?
No.
10 seconds, everybody.
Sorry, Craig. No.
Okay, we are going in 5, 4, 3.
Welcome back to the National Nightly News with me, Megan Wolfe. Very shortly, we'll be heading on over to the final episode of what has quickly become a hugely successful feature, the notice board. But before we do, let's chat with Philippa Radin. Tell me, why do you think the public love the notice board so much? It's real.
Bueno.
There, I said it. It
Autentiquísimo.
connects with people. You know, people look at us and they say, those are real people struggling with real problems. That's a really interesting point.
Bueno.
I mean, I was saying to my PA secretary as I got out of the I was saying, it's good for people to see normal, authentic people like them on TV. People like you. Yeah, precisely.
Claro.
Unfortunately, then I was interrupted by some dreadful wretch who wanted an autograph, but a swift kicking from security soon put him back in line. Yes, well, I think it's really good that our screens are filled with such
Venga, necesitamos subir la audiencia.
So, the notice board is coming to an end after a sensational time at the top. What do you think has made this show so successful? It's a combination of so many things. My hard work, my talent, my look. Wow, you really have a lot to thank you for. Hey. You're welcome.
We've just heard our man's on camera for.
Que no me he enterado.
A sense of responsibility now. You know, a sense I've been entrusted with something precious.
Get back to the interview, Alex.
Use that platform for good. Yeah, I think that's really important. That we should use this platform to do good in the world. I agree. That's exactly it. So I've decided to help as many
Excellent work, Alex. That's the location shared. Next, you'll need to give them the go.
Better access to education, or reducing child poverty. No, by adopting as many as I can get my hands on.
Vale.
Oh, okay.
No me he enterado de qué quiere que
How
haga.
many children have you adopted?
Me estoy perdiendo.
I stopped counting in the late 30s. Goodness, that is a lot of children. Yeah, once we finish putting them into the guest room, I'll have to put a futon in the laundry cupboard. Oh, you really are some sort of hero. Hey, I live a privileged life. What can I say? I mean, any child I can take on is a child rescued from suffering. Poor children. Were their lives really that bad before? Oh, they're yours, I presume so. Okay. Yeah, it's shocking to think, actually, that only 1 in 10,000 children have a celebrity parent.
Necesitamos audiencia.
I'd never thought of it that way before. And I'm doing everything I can to fix those numbers. What do you think it is about your life that's so desirable, then?
Well, it's mainly shame and panic interspersed with expensive bottles.
Estoy escuchando algo raro y no sé lo que es.
If anyone wants to, I'd happily trade.
Now that I can relate to. Right, you better go off and get ready. That was Philippa Radin sharing some thoughts about her lifestyle. I think it's really important to stay grounded and keep everything in perspective. Clearly, not everyone else agrees, but that's enough from me. Let's go now over to Dangly Parts for the final ever episode of the Notice Board.
What a day! First the team running, and now to post this notice. I don't know how I managed to
hablando de anuncios, han hecho un
Oh wait, perhaps I do. Oh! By St. Barnabas, what on earth is all this?
Freeze, dirtbag!
Oh, Laura, it's you. I thought for a moment you were a knife-wielding mugger or stabber.
No, I'm afraid not. It's just me, a community cohesion officer, responsible for keeping crime at
Madre mía, a toda leche.
Of course. Keep forgetting that thanks to you and your colleagues, violence on our streets is a thing of the past.
What's all this, Vicar?
I know! It's a disgrace. Somebody
It's time for the go code. Give us 3 boos in a row, Alex. That will start the pincer movement. We might just pull this off. Push forwards! 3 boos, Alex.
Careful, Vicar. It looks heavy.
Ha! They don't call me the right Reverend. Ripped for no reason.
Yes!
It's no good.
It looks like all those crucifix classes were a waste
Es que estoy con lo de la resistencia, que es que lo siento mucho.
A young CCO would be able to use it.
2 for 2. Fantastic.
Looks like all those lifting classes were a waste of time.
A ver, estoy intentando subir la audiencia.
heavy, even for me, a strong and capable
You did it, Alex. We're good to go.
strong enough to lift this.
Did someone call for the best firefighter in town?
Mierda. Se me ha ido.
Well done, Captain Evans. You're so much stronger than us.
Especially me, the weak old man.
It's the least I could do for my community.
¿Por qué no hay un plano general? ¿Por qué no hay un plano general? No lo entiendo.
No luck catching the little devil then?
Unfortunately not. The ferret struck again last night. When Ray opened the post office this morning, he found that every single stamp had been pre-licked.
My God! Some people have no decency.
Sadly, if we don't catch him before tomorrow, we may have to cancel the village fete.
Don't worry, we won't let that happen. Will we, Vicar?
No, no, no. Laura, tell me, why do they call him the ferret?
Some say it's because of his
Madre mía, es que necesito
but really it's because
un poco de
whenever he
orden.
strikes, he always leaves behind the foul stench of urine.
Never fear, officer. We'll catch this pissy nuisance and save the village fete. Or my name's not Captain Danger Evans. The community cohesion team are doing their best, but they simply don't have the smarts to solve this mystery. But I know someone who does. Someone who's about to blow this thing wide open. Me! Blackout!
¿Y ahora van a cantar o qué?
It's the morning of the village fete, thanks to theatrical convention.
I sure hope everything goes to plan. Oh, look! There's Mrs. Craven setting up her cake stall.
And look, There's the motorcycle display.
Pero
setting up for a show would be far too expensive for live television.
I'm going to set up the coconut shy. What are you doing, Vicar?
First, I'm running the tombola. Then, I'll be selling forgiveness for money.
Aren't you judging the jams?
I couldn't possibly.
Well, that sounded like Mrs. Craven. Looks like someone sucked all the jam out of her donuts.
Damn ferret has struck again!
Whatever are we to do?
Although I'm very competent, I have no idea how to solve this case.
I guess we'll just have to cancel the fate.
Hold it right there, ferret.
No me da la vida, no me da la vida para darlo a todo.
Have you been drinking from the fire extinguishers again?
Vale.
Not you, the vicar.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Admit it. You wanted the village fete cancelled so you could have the day off, didn't you?
I already have to work Sundays. I shouldn't have to work 2 days a week.
But how did you know?
Well, my first clue was the smell.
Yes, I do smell of urine.
Next, I noticed that the vicar's
Es que además van cambiando de cámara cada 2x3.
Almost as if he'd been licking thousands and thousands of stamps.
Or perhaps eating Mrs. Craven's baking.
Suenan ruidos.
Which brings me on to my third clue. The vicar said that he had no more room for jam.
Almost as if he'd had.
Ruidos y no sé de qué son.
Precisely.
But you managed to figure it all out from that?
Well, I also found this at the scene.
Suenan más ruidos.
Proves nothing. No!
Get him out of here, officer!
Ya estamos sin plano general.
You did it, Captain. You could say you ferreted him out.
Hey, come on. Let's go and have a party in my massive garden. I am doing well.
Thanks to you, we're all doing well. That was it, the final ever episode of the notice board, and what a way to end
para los
it.
anuncios.
Thank you as always.
Y ahora viene el break
Jennifer
de los de
and Cameron.
disrupción.
After the break, we'll be both dancing and learning, so don't change that channel. We'll be right back.
That's the ads. Well done, everybody.
A ver qué sale.
What a brilliant
Madre mía.
After party at my place, eh?
What advert is this, Alex? I don't remember passing it for broadcast. I think you made a mistake there.
I've got 4 kinds
Me van a
of
echar,
sausage.
me van a echar.
You've probably seen
Hey, you!
talking about
You coming to the after party?
and how progressive their policies are.
Oh,
Well, I was wrong. And I'm here tonight to say I'm sorry.
One last push, Alex. We're closing in. One of the guests in the last section is working with us. You'll be asked to censor on our behalf. If you do it right, the final orders will be given. You'll get 3 chances. Get at least 2 of them right, and we're gonna win this thing. It's happening,
Vale,
Alex.
3 oportunidades, aprovecho 2. Es que este tío está muy loco, tampoco le quiero hacer caso a él. Está bastante loco.
So when Advance came to power, I didn't think about the damage they would do. I acted selfishly. I was glad to see the rich punished. I didn't see how backwards Advance were. I didn't understand that rather than tearing down the wealth creators, we should have been helping everyone else to take a seat at their table.
Bueno, pues vamos con la última parte del informativo, a ver qué nos encontramos.
It is poorer in ambition. It is poorer in aspiration. We are infantilized by Advance's naive policies.
Please, Sarah, anything.
Sorry, Mum, I'm really not supposed to say.
Are we safe?
Hi, I'm Maddie. Jenny just said to ask if you need a touch-up.
I have
Did
poured
she?
myself out to the media to defend.
That's my shade, is it?
Yeah.
This is my shade?
My parents. I see that now. Mum,
Oyen bombas y disparos.
You can run back to Jenny now.
Sí, oyen bombas y disparos, sí.
our only hope.
Sorry about that, Sarah. Nothing you can tell me. At all, like at all.
They've said no one's died, that's all I can say.
10 seconds.
What's wrong with you?
She is in tears.
Ugh.
Going in 5, 4, 3.
Vale. Venga, volvemos.
Welcome back to the National Nightly News. Later in this segment, we're hoping to be able to go back to Patrick Bannon at the scene of tonight's shocking Disrupt attack. But first, I'm delighted to be joined by the cast of the smash hit musical everyone is talking about. I'll be speaking with the cast in a moment, but first, let's take a look at them in action. Please give a warm National Nightly welcome to the Novaries.
Hello? Doctor? Yes, I see. Thank you for letting me know. I have a decent life. I'm a happy, loving wife. And my job is well paid and fulfilling. I have a husband, John. He's due home soon, won't be long.
No pillo el ritmo de esto.
And I have to tell him something that is absolutely chilling. We share coffee in the morning and we make love every day. We take time alone together to talk and laugh.
Ya sí, lo estoy pillando.
We prioritize our needs. We do charitable deeds. But the flowers of a happy life are now set by me.
I'm home.
Oh, darling John. Oh, dearest John. There's something very wrong. I've just had a conversation with our doctor, David Watts, so please be seated. This news will make you feel defeated.
Se me ha ido.
Scans revealed a lump. You poor unlucky chump.
Is it cancer?
Worse of John. We're having a baby.
Vale.
How can this be?
Oh, woe is me.
Why has this happened to me? I always wear 2 condoms for the maximum of
safety. In our tiny flat, we built a peaceful habitat. Now our lives are fucked. We're having a baby. Now
Qué buena canción.
wine at book club.
And there won't be any time for foot rubs.
Now your hair will stink of weed.
And you'll start to disagree.
And forget about that holiday in Territory 3. No more waking up at 10:30. In fact, you're never going to get a good night's sleep again. No more snap decisions to go on to a club. You'll be lucky if you even make it out to the pub. Why can't we be more like our gay and lesbian jobs?
The only they have to deal with comes from personal bums.
Now when I take a sick day at home,
The parasite won't leave you alone.
how he's wrong.
We're our top priority.
I look after you, and you look after me. Ain't no trouble and strife. We got a childless life.
Va acelerando.
No one wails and no one bawls. No one draws things on the walls.
A happy husband.
A wonderful wife. We got a childless life. We're having a baby. We're having a baby. Changing nappies daily. We're having a baby. No more weekends by the coast. Now your kid is uppermost. It's more than a passing craze to have childless days.
We're having a baby.
Food and drink thrown everywhere. Death trap toys at the top of the stairs. Every parent
Por lo menos en esta es muy fácil seguir el ritmo.
We're having a baby. No more stars and no more. We're having a baby. 18 years of bills and leases. Time for a whole new phase.
We're having a baby.
One more thing before the show begins. Have you considered that you might be having twins?
Qué buena la canción, me cago en la leche.
Amazing. The Novarys there, treating us to their opening number from Elegy for a Childless Life, which is currently the hottest ticket in the capital theatre district. And we'll be touring the territories later this year. Right then, come on you lot, come on down, let's go, don't be shy. Hello. Hi Megan. Hi. It's an honour to be here. Oh really, are you fans of the show? Yes, used to be. Well, listen, let's get stuck in. Your amazing musical. Now, I mean, not only do you perform this show every single night...
With matinees on Wednesday and Saturday!
Right, but you're also the show's creators, am I right?
Well, everyone contributed their ideas, and then some of us went away and did the actual work on the script. But no, it's very much a team effort.
Oh, that's fantastic.
¿Quién está hablando?
With me, I've not introduced any of you. I'll be the one being replaced next. Let's go down the line, shall we?
Hi, I'm Jack.
Jim Blunt, pleasure to be here.
Jennifer Boreham-Woodley.
Hello, I'm John Sapley. Used to be in the business professionally.
My name's Jill, with a J.
And I'm Janet. I'm the youngest.
That's incredible. And you were all friends previously. I mean, what a coincidence, right? With your names beginning with a J.
Oh my goodness, guys! Our names all begin with J!
Mira lo que se oye fuera.
Noticed that.
Because you haven't typed them out 1,000 times?
You knew? Why didn't you say anything?
I thought we all knew. It's bloody obvious, isn't it? I just thought we were doing a funny thing where we never mentioned it.
And I believe as well as being friends, you're also couples. You know, in real life as well as in the show.
Well, not exactly.
I'm not married to him. I'm with Janet.
And I'm with John, you lucky bean.
Jim and I are married.
4 fabulous years.
Well, that must make for some confusion in the rehearsal room.
Well, you should have seen the first draft. Jen decided that Jack would play Jim, I would play Jack. Jen, Janet, Jill, Jen, Janet, Jill.
What about John?
Well, my character was originally just called Man 1.
It was allegorical.
It was very confusing.
Not for a professional.
After much toing and froing. And gnashing and
Vale. ¿Por qué habla todo el
And
mundo?
gin and tonic.
We decided that we'd just use our own names, which is less truthful.
Por lo menos hay un plano general.
Also, less likely to go into the wrong dressing rooms.
Oh, God, yeah, that would be very embarrassing, wouldn't it?
Of course, when I first wrote it, we were only meant to run for a few nights at the Monday Village Hall, but when I registered it with the Department for Culture, it caught the eye of someone high up, and before you could say overnight sensation, we were transferring to the capital.
It's all been a bit of a roller coaster, really. I'm only 19. I'm the youngest.
You really don't have to repeat that.
I had to give up my job as a mortuary technician.
Well, yes, we all had to move to the capital.
I love that job.
It's been a very turbulent time.
So peaceful, no singing. So peaceful.
This piece isn't.
Stand by, Alex. Censor the orange.
It's about children. And why you shouldn't have them.
In a way, I guess it is political, with a small p. After all, we are a solid unit, and eagle-eyed audience members will see we nod our heads to advance on stage throughout, and we target the messaging at women aged 22, well, about 35, as they're the most likely to be afflicted by this terrible problem. Terrible problem.
Having children.
Well, you understand, Megan.
You clearly agree.
This isn't about me. Of course, we see that there are advantages to a family unit, but eagle-eyed couples watch as parasites advance on their lives, and there's no time to play the guitar, get through a book, or watch a movie. They're exhausted, passed out on the couch by 20 to 9, for God's sake.
You're very chatty tonight, dear.
Usually I'm the chatty one.
Because you're the youngest, we know. It's not a badge of honour, Janet.
Janet, please, Jennifer. Oh, well said, John. Thanks, Jack.
So could you just tell us what is the play about? What happens in it?
Well,
go ahead.
It's a tragedy, obviously. Jennifer, myself, and John have their child, and then the story charts the downfall of their hopes and dreams.
And there's lots of singing.
And dancing.
A lot.
My character works at a menu centre for a distribution unit. Eagle-eyed, she sees her friend's rapid advance to a pit of despair. Becoming a target for children's TV advertising at the age of 22, she decides to take drastic action. I can't really say more, though. probably said too much already.
Yes. Let's not spoil the second act for anyone who might come to see it.
Which should be
Madre mía.
you.
Es que no me da la vida.
For too long, we've been told that a life without children is somehow incomplete, that children are a blessing. Well, I've done the research, and they're not. Besides, there's already loads of bastards running around all over the place. So.
We just want people to have the option of a happy, child-free life without stigma. You know, when I was 14, before I had come out,
Bueno, que me quedo sin cámaras.
A girl called Julia Jacobs. She was an experiment, I guess, you know, a chance to dip my toes into the
Meeting. Well, thank you so much for coming in tonight. I really hope you keep them dancing in the aisles for many performances to come. The noble affair. And I am pleased to say we can now go back to Patrick Bannon to get the latest from the scene of tonight's horrific events. Patrick, are you okay?
Thank you, Megan. This is Patrick Bannon reporting from the scene of tonight's devastating and symbolic attack tonight this evening. An attack which I myself have found myself caught up in. I'm still a little dazed and a little deaf, Megan. So I hope you'll forgive me if I seem that it's time to speak with the Prime Minister. Mrs. Salisbury, that's you. You're still here. The Prime Minister.
A ver qué
I couldn't
dice.
leave. Not when there were people that needed help. Any team player would have done the same. I don't deserve praise for being human.
Yes, no accolades here. Or Palisades. Or lemonade. Right. So, is the situation now? Are we safe?
Yes. The security services performed their duties without hesitation. And I would like to assure the public that although there have been some injuries, there were no
Madre
civilian
mía,
deaths.
me van a echar. Les he hecho caso a los locos.
Sorry, did you say no deaths?
That's right. No civilian deaths. Just the four disrupt terrorists curtailed by law enforcement, who were, as always, so cohesive. If I may, I have a message for your viewers.
Of course, the camera there's the speak there on the camera there.
Stay at home tonight. Do not become another casualty of war.
Bueno.
Disrupt have had their moment. But, as the dear departed Peter Clements once famously said, it ends today.
Thank you, Prime Minister.
Qué amenazante.
Strong words of strength. Back to the studio. Megan, now in the studio with Megan Wolf now.
Patrick Bannon bravely reporting from the front line of tonight's horrifying bombing. Maybe you need to get checked out, Patrick. Well, that brings us to the end of tonight's National Nightly News. But before we go, one final thought. Throughout the programme tonight, we've been receiving reports of disrupt activities throughout the territories. Through a series of coordinated attacks, these terrorists are
A ver, ya
attempting
estamos
to
con las
undermine
onditas aquí al
advances
final,
of
para
war.
fastidiar.
However, sources at team headquarters have told us that this placid revolution was not only predicted, but allowed to happen. Our government have lured disrupt out from the shadows, and they are not the overwhelming force they would have you believe. The military have been actioned, and it's pretty scary last night, so stay at home and stay with Channel 1, because the team has assured this programme that the turbulence will soon be over, and we can once again focus our minds on
Cada vez oyen más disparos.
with equality, fairness, and resources for all. My name is Megan Wolf. Let's make it tomorrow.
No he conseguido. Bueno, conseguido para ti. Madre mía, la que se está liando ahí fuera. Madre mía. No sé si eso es bueno. Madre mía, la que está liada ahí fuera. Madre mía. Pero bueno. Ay, madre. A ver, es que... Madre mía, la que se está liando. muerto ya todo el mundo. Es lo que no entiendo. Regular, mal. Pobre como una rata. Bajo. Bien, pues esta ha sido la cuarta partida de Not for Broadcast. Como veis, han pasado un montón de cosas, o sea, desde las bombas nucleares hasta el avance de Disroom y todo se está convirtiendo todo en una locura. Estoy ayudando a los de Disroom, pero realmente no estoy muy convencido porque la están liando igual que los otros. La verdad es que el argumento del juego me parece una pasada. Probablemente cuando lo termine lo volveré a jugar porque sé que hay varios finales, sé que depende de las decisiones que vayas tomando va cambiando. Lo que lo hace un juego que personalmente creo que es muy recomendable. Así que nada, bueno, veremos qué sucede en esta partida. Estoy deseando volver a jugarlo. Y lo que siempre decimos, si os gusta el contenido, ya sabéis, siempre podéis darle like, podéis suscribiros al canal, que nos ayuda un montón. Muchas gracias por todos los que os habéis suscrito. Y también, si queréis, podéis invitarnos a un café. Abajo en la descripción tenéis todos los enlaces, tanto para suscribiros como para invitarnos al café. O si queréis dejarnos un comentario, decirnos qué os parece. Y nada, nos vemos en la próxima partida. Hasta luego.
Darling John, oh dearest John, there's something very wrong. I've just had a conversation with our doctor David One, so please be seated. This news will make you feel defeated. The scans revealed a lump. You poor unlucky chump. Is it cancer? Worse, so John.